Have you ever looked at a woman you really wanted and thought, if I say the wrong thing right now, she'll instantly file me in the just another guy category? Because that is exactly what happens every single day. Most men approach attraction like a lottery ticket. Smart men approach it like a skill. And what we are going to do now is draw a brutal line between you and the average man by walking through the 7 rules of smart seduction that rewire the way you show up with women forever. First, understand this. Seduction is not tricks, cheesy lines, or some fake persona. Smart seduction is the strategic, masculine ability to influence how a woman feels around you using your presence, your boundaries, your communication, and your standards. It is the opposite of begging for attention. It is the art of becoming the kind of man whose energy pulls her in without needing to chase. While the average guy spends his days asking, "What do women want?" the smart seducer quietly becomes a man women want to be around, and then he chooses. That is the mental switch you are about to make as you listen to every word of this script. Before we break down the 7 rules, lock in one core idea. Attraction is emotional, not logical. A woman can tell herself, he is a good guy, he is nice, he is stable, and still feel absolutely nothing. Or she can think, he is not perfect, but I cannot stop thinking about him. Smart seduction aims directly at that emotional layer using behavior, not begging. You are not going to persuade her with long explanations. You are going to seduce her by how you move, how you talk, how you decide, and how you walk away when something does not match your standards. The first rule of smart seduction that separates you from average men is brutal self-clarity. Most guys have no idea what they actually want from a woman. They say they want something serious, but accept crumbs. They say they want respect, but tolerate disrespect because she is attractive. A smart seducer is clear. You know the kind of energy you want in your life. Feminine, cooperative, kind, attracted to you, not just bored and using you for validation. The moment you get clear, your behavior changes. You stop chasing every woman. You stop reacting to every message. You stop performing for attention. You become selective. Self-clarity also means you know what you bring to the table beyond looks or money. You know your values, your mission, your lifestyle. You are building something with your life. You are not available 24/7 because you have a path. Women feel that difference immediately. Average men try to win women by centering their whole lives around them. Smart seducers remain centered in their purpose and invite compatible women into that world. That shift alone already makes you far more attractive than the insecure guy who will drop everything the second she texts. The second rule of smart seduction is non-neediness at an emotional level. You have heard "do not be needy," but most men misunderstand it. They try to act cold, detached, or arrogant, thinking that looks confident. That is not true non-neediness. That is insecurity disguised as a mask. Real non-neediness means your emotional state is not dependent on her reaction. If she is interested, great. If she is not, your life is still good. Your day is still productive. Your mind is still steady. You do not collapse internally because one woman did not respond the way you hoped. This emotional independence comes from building a life that you actually like without her. You have your training, your work, your projects, your friends, your growth. When your life is full, your energy shifts. You stop over-investing. You stop sending 5 messages in a row. You stop over-justifying yourself. You stop explaining, "I'm not like other guys, I promise." You no longer sell yourself. You present yourself, and you let her make a decision. That calm inner state is what women feel when they say a man is grounded, confident, stable. It is not about how loud you talk. It is about how little her opinion can shake your core. The third rule of smart seduction is emotional leadership. Whether she is fully conscious of it or not, a woman constantly tests if you can handle her emotions without losing yourself. An average man reacts. He takes everything personally. If she is distant, he panics. If she is in a bad mood, he becomes defensive. If she pulls back, he begs. Smart seduction demands that you become a leader of emotional tone. That means you decide the emotional climate you bring into every interaction, and you do not let her storms define your state. Emotional leadership does not mean controlling her or invalidating her feelings. It means you are the stable frame. If she is anxious, you remain calm. If she is dramatic, you respond with grounded clarity instead of feeding the chaos. If she tries to provoke jealousy, you do not take the bait. You do not fight for drama. You stay aligned with your principles. A man who can stay calm under emotional pressure is rare. When a woman feels that you do not crumble when tension appears, her respect for you rises. Respect is a silent fuel that powers attraction over time. The fourth rule of smart seduction is polarity, embracing your masculine edge instead of diluting it. Many men, in an attempt to be accepted, soften themselves too much. They hide their desire. They become overly agreeable. They avoid tension at all costs. The result is that they feel safe, but not magnetic. Smart seduction is about embracing your masculine energy, direction, decisiveness, ambition, and the courage to express your desire in a respectful but unapologetic way. You do not apologize for being a man. You refine it. Polarity shows in simple things. You take initiative instead of asking her to decide everything. You say, "Let us meet at this place at this time," instead of, "I don't know, what do you want?" You hold eye contact a bit longer. You speak a bit slower. You are not frantic, you are composed. You are comfortable with silence. You do not rush to fill every gap with nervous chatter. You are not trying to be cute all the time. You can be playful, but underneath that, there is a clear edge. You know what you are doing and where you want to go. The fifth rule of smart seduction is strategic communication. Average men talk just to avoid silence. Smart seducers communicate to create emotion and connection. This means you stop using conversations as interviews or therapy sessions. You are not bombarding her with endless questions like a job interview. And you are not dumping all your emotional wounds on her on the first date. Instead, you communicate with intention. The purpose is to reveal enough of who you are to spark curiosity, to create a playful tension, and to show your standards indirectly, not by lecturing. Strategic communication means you are aware of subtext. It is not only what you say, but how you say it, when you say it, and what you choose not to say yet. You do not overshare everything about your past in the first hour. You let her wonder a little. You answer questions honestly, but you do not turn a casual moment into a 2-hour emotional dump. You use teasing, humor, and challenge to create a dance, not an interview. A simple phrase said with the right tone can create more attraction than a long explanation. For example, instead of saying, "Please like me, I'm really a good guy," your energy says, "I know I am a good man. The question is whether you are a good fit for my life." Strategic communication also means you do not pedestalize her with your words. You can compliment, but you do it from a place of abundance, not worship. You notice something specific, you say it once, and you move on. You do not shower her with exaggerated praise, hoping to buy her affection. Over-complimenting often signals lack of options and low standards. It is more seductive when she feels that your attention is something she earned by who she is, not something you throw at any pretty face. The sixth rule of smart seduction is calibrated escalation. Many men either never escalate physically or emotionally because they are scared, or they try to escalate in clumsy, aggressive ways that ignore her signals. Smart seduction respects timing and consent, while also recognizing that attraction needs escalation to grow. Calibration is the skill of reading her body language, her responsiveness, her eye contact, her proximity, and adjusting your behavior accordingly. You escalate step by step, not in sudden leaps that feel forced or disrespectful. Calibrated escalation begins long before any physical contact. It starts with eye contact, with the way you sit or stand near her, with the topics you bring into the conversation, with the playful tension you build. You pay attention to whether she leans in, whether she touches you casually, whether she mirrors your body language. You do not force anything, but you do not freeze either. If the connection is clearly mutual, you take the lead, gently and confidently. If you sense resistance, you slow down, you give space, you back off without resentment. This rule separates you from both extremes: the overly passive man who waits forever and ends up in the just friends zone, and the aggressive man who pushes too fast and creates discomfort or even fear. Women remember how safe or unsafe they felt with you. Smart seduction is powerful precisely because it combines masculine initiative with conscious respect. When a woman feels both attraction and safety, you become unforgettable. The seventh rule of smart seduction is long-term value orientation. Average men are obsessed with quick wins: a number, a kiss, one night, external proof that they are good enough. Smart seducers think differently. You focus on becoming high value in a way that no one can take away from you, regardless of who stays or leaves. You invest in your body, your mind, your finances, your mission, your emotional intelligence. You upgrade your life so much that what you offer is naturally rare. Women do not just get your attention, they get access to your world. A long-term value mindset also changes how you handle rejection and loss. When something does not work, you do not collapse. You analyze, you learn, you improve. You ask yourself, what did this reveal about my standards, my communication, my environment, my self-respect? Then you adjust. Many men get stuck because they personalize everything. She rejected me, so I am worthless. A smart seducer understands that chemistry, timing, and compatibility matter. You do not chase every woman. You align with those who fit the life you are building. Now let us connect these 7 rules into a coherent way of being, so that you are not just listening but transforming. Imagine how different your interactions become when you combine self-clarity with non-neediness. You know what you want, and you are not desperate for it. That alone changes your posture, your tone, your decisions. Add emotional leadership, and suddenly you are not reacting to her moods, you are guiding the energy between you. Bring in polarity, and your masculine edge creates a contrast that she feels. Layer strategic communication, and your words now create tension and curiosity instead of boredom. Add calibrated escalation, and the connection can grow naturally. Anchor all of this in long-term value, and you become the kind of man she rarely meets. Understand that smart seduction is about alignment between your inner world and your outer behavior. If inside you feel insecure, anxious, bitter, or resentful towards women, that will leak no matter what lines you use. You cannot fake inner chaos for long. That is why these rules are not just external techniques, they are internal standards. You are training yourself to be non-needy by building a satisfying life. You are training emotional leadership by refusing to let anyone's mood control your state. You are training polarity by stepping into decisive action. You are training strategic communication by observing what creates emotion in conversations and what kills it. One of the most powerful shifts you can make is moving from validation seeking to value giving. Average men need constant reassurance. Do you like me? Was that okay? Did I offend you? Are you mad at me? Smart seducers give value simply by being in the room. Your calm presence, your sharp mind, your sense of humor, your grounded energy, your standards. You do not need to entertain her like a clown. Your value is not a performance, it is who you have become. Ironically, when you stop begging for validation, you start receiving more genuine appreciation. Not because you chase it, but because people can feel you are not controlled by it. Another key aspect of smart seduction is boundaries. A lot of men think being nice means having no boundaries. They tolerate flakiness, disrespect, constant cancellations, manipulative games, and then wonder why women do not respect them. Smart seducers are kind, but not tolerant of chaos. If a woman consistently disrespects your time, you stop giving her access. If she insults you, you do not argue, you withdraw. You do not negotiate your basic respect. You do not try to convince her to treat you better. You simply raise the price of your presence. Boundaries also apply to your own behavior. You do not drink to the point of losing control. You do not text or call obsessively when you know it comes from insecurity rather than genuine intention. You do not stalk her social media trying to decode every post. You discipline yourself. That self-discipline is attractive because it shows you can govern yourself. A man who cannot govern himself cannot lead anyone. Women feel that instinctively. Let us talk about tension, because seduction without tension is just friendship. Tension is not drama. It is the electric space between comfort and desire. Smart seduction creates that tension through contrast. You are warm, but not overly available. You are honest, but do not reveal everything at once. You are respectful, but not submissive. You show interest, then you lean back and let her come towards you. You joke, but you can also be serious and firm. You are not predictable. Predictable men are safe, but forgettable. Smart seducers are reliable in character, but surprising in expression. To create tension, you must become comfortable with uncertainty. Average men try to kill all uncertainty immediately. Do you like me? What are we? Where is this going? They try to secure a guarantee before there is even a real connection. That kills attraction, because it turns the interaction into a negotiation instead of a dance. Smart seducers allow things to unfold. You do not rush to label everything. You feel the dynamic, and you lead it step by step. You are okay not knowing whether this will become something serious or not in the first days. You focus on how you show up now, instead of obsessing over outcomes you cannot control. Another crucial difference between you and average men is how you handle tests. Women test men all the time, often unconsciously. They might tease you, ignore you for a bit, provoke jealousy, or challenge your opinions. Average men either explode emotionally, become defensive, or start begging. Smart seducers see tests for what they are, checks of your stability. When you are tested, you do not crumble, you do not attack, you do not justify yourself endlessly. You breathe, you stay grounded, you answer lightly or firmly depending on the situation, and you move on. The test ends the moment she sees that your center is not easily shaken. Let us be very clear. None of this is about playing with women's feelings. Smart seduction only works long-term, when it is built on integrity. You are honest about your intentions. If you only want something casual, you do not promise a relationship. If you want something serious, you do not play with multiple women behind her back. You understand that trust is not only moral, it is strategic. A man known for honesty and consistency becomes far more attractive than a man who is charming for one night and then disappears. Your reputation is part of your seduction power. Now, ask yourself, where are you acting like an average man right now? Maybe you overinvest attention in women who give you very little back. Maybe you lose your emotional control when a woman pulls away. Maybe you avoid expressing your desire out of fear of rejection. Maybe you try to logically convince women to like you instead of embodying the qualities that naturally attract them. Awareness is the first step. As you listen, you might already be recognizing patterns that have cost you attraction in the past. Take a moment and imagine what happens when you start applying these rules consistently. You walk into a room with self-clarity. You know who you are and what you want. Your non-neediness makes you relaxed, not desperate. Emotional leadership keeps you calm under pressure. Your masculine polarity gives you presence. Strategic communication makes conversations fluid and compelling. Calibrated escalation turns attraction into connection instead of friendship. Long-term value orientation pushes you to improve your life every day. That combination is rare. When you embody it, you no longer compete with average men. You are playing a different game. From this point forward, smart seduction becomes your filter. You do not measure yourself by how many women you can impress. You measure yourself by how aligned your behavior is with these principles. When you slip back into needy patterns, you correct yourself. When you catch yourself chasing attention, you stop, you recenter. When you feel fear around expressing interest, you remember, courage is attractive, and rejection is not death. Every interaction is training. Every conversation is a chance to practice presence, leadership, polarity, and calibration. Understand something important. Women are not the enemy, and they are not the prize that gives you value. They are mirrors. They reflect back to you your level of confidence, discipline, clarity, and emotional maturity. If you repeatedly attract chaos, disrespect, or indifference, that is feedback. Do not sink into self-hate. Use that feedback to upgrade yourself. The smarter you become in seduction, the less you complain, and the more you adjust. You stop saying all women are this or that, and you start asking, what is my role in the patterns I keep experiencing? Right now, you have a choice. You can close this video and go back to old habits, or you can decide that from today on, you will not behave like an average man again. You will not chase validation. You will not tolerate disrespect. You will not lie to women or to yourself. You will apply the 7 rules of smart seduction as a code. Your code: self-clarity, non-neediness, emotional leadership, masculine polarity, strategic communication, calibrated escalation, and long-term value. Not as temporary tricks, but as the standard for how you live and love. As you move forward, remember that real seduction starts long before you meet any woman. It begins in the morning, when you choose whether you train your body or scroll your phone. It begins when you decide whether you spend your evening numbing yourself or building skills. It begins when you hold yourself accountable instead of blaming the world. Every disciplined action you take makes you more attractive, because it strengthens your core. Women feel that core even if they cannot explain it. They might call it confidence, charisma, or presence. You know it is the result of the man you decided to become. So now, as this message sinks in, make a commitment to yourself. Not to me, not to any woman, to yourself. Commit to stop acting like an average man. Commit to practicing these 7 rules until they become automatic. Commit to becoming the kind of man who does not need to chase, because his presence naturally commands attention and respect. You are not here to be ordinary. You are here to be a man whose energy, standards, and actions separate him completely from the crowd. That is smart seduction. And from this moment on, it is your way of moving through the world.